Hello, my name is Lizzie. Every week I'm bringing along a different piece of origami, and my aim is to try to help inspire you to try something new, something a bit different, and give yourself a little bit of time to focus on something purely for fun, really. I think that's really important at this time. So I'm going to be sharing with you, I think, one of the most exciting pieces of origami, making an aeroplane. And I thought I'd bring along two very different ones. One which is called Swallow. You'll see I was actually taught by someone who is a patient. The other one is very different looking. It almost looks like a crown. And the question will be, which flies the best? I will be letting you find out and be very interested in what you report back. Also, feel free to share your folds too. So I normally work in a hospital with patients and staff, and this is very much dedicated to my colleagues at UCH, but this is for everyone as well. This is to help support everybody's mental well-being. So this could be something that you do at home to help lift your spirits, and I hope you're going to enjoy this. So it's a little bit of time together. I'm going to first of all show you how to make this lovely swallow glider. And as I said, I was actually taught this by someone who was a patient. So I'd normally go around, walk around with my origami and see whether anyone would join me. And one gentleman who was older, maybe in his 70s or 80s, he wasn't very interested, but the second time I visited said, I'm going to show you something. And he showed me how to fold this. And actually we flew it down the hospital corridor, and we're all amazed by how brilliantly it flies. So hopefully this should be a good one. All you need actually for both of them is just normal A4 paper, letter paper, wherever it is that you're in the world, and I'll be able to show you how to make things. So in a moment I'm going to move the camera around, and I would recommend that you go and grab yourself some paper. This is all recorded so you can always pause and go back to things. I'm going to grab a piece of paper for myself and my board, and in a second I'm going to direct this down. So far for this lockdown we have made, first of all, a lotus, and then we made a tulip, then a basket, and then a rabbit, and then a chick. So you'll also be able to look back on my videos and see how to do those. So it's one a week, which hopefully is the right kind of pace. I recommend doing it and then actually trying again, and you'll find it sort of changes with time. It gets easier, and you'll be able to master it. So I think during this time you'll have done something different every week. But I think that this is one of the most fun of all. I'm originally a scientist, and this is very much science and art together. So I'm going to direct the camera down. Let's see if this works. Great. I'm going to bring it a bit closer. There we go. So start with your normal A4 piece of paper, and we're going to use it pretty much as the paper itself. So with origami, it's all about being very neat and tidy and very accurate. Take your time, and actually that's the enjoyable part. So take your corner and bring it up to the edge, like so. So you can see it's all nicely lined up. And I think it's the precision that's lovely. People will say, oh, I can't do it. Well, just take your time and you will get there. It's about being patient with yourself. So there you go, doing that nice diagonal fold. There we go. So with origami, it's good to give good strong folds, because that's what gives it strength. So we've done one fold there. And then I'm hoping you haven't seen these folds before, because I thought they're quite different planes. We all know the dart, which is a great one, but these are a bit different. And they fly in a different way too. And then the other side. So we're effectively doing a little cross. So again, I'm lining it up, making sure, oh, that's not quite lined up. Well then, do it till it is lined up. The great thing is a paper, you can refold it until it's just right. I recommend taking your time. It's what it's all about. There we go. So you've hopefully folded what looks like a cross at this end. Then if you turn it over, we're then going to do a nice horizontal line in the middle. The thing for me is each time I'm trying to learn these things and remember it. We'll see how well I do. Right, so we're going to do a horizontal line there. So to do that, you aim towards those little corners, towards those folds, and that should do it. That's it. Great. So now open it up, and you should be able to put your finger just underneath the middle there. Push it up and it pops up. Can you see? So it was like that, and I put my finger underneath the middle and I pushed it up, and it's gone to that nice shape. So you should be able to fold it up. Can you see it's almost wanting to fold up already? So it looks like this, and you should be able to push the sides in and it folds up like that. There we go. Hopefully yours is getting there too. Right, first of all, you've got this corner. Bring it up to the top here. So this could be something you can fly around at home. It's not going to harm anything, is it? Paper. Maybe outside on your daily walk. There we go. Keeping away from everybody. That's it. If you're able to. But it certainly works indoors as well. And actually the circular plane, which I'll be showing you, the first one I tried, it worked so well, it shot across the room, and I still haven't been able to find it. It worked very well. So there we go. It's easier often to lie it down and have those folds, because I'm trying to do this upside down. So our next step is to take the top and bring it down to the bottom like so. So it's up here and then bringing it down like so. Great. And this top one again, bringing it down like so. Right. Our next step is to take the top, it's quite thick now actually, is to bring it to make a nice straight line at the top. Can you see? So it should look like this. We're making the front of this nice and heavy, and that's good actually for the flying. There we go. So bring it into a nice straight line. Quite thick, but add that pressure. And the same thing on the other side. So origami is also called paper engineering. So this really is engineering, making planes. And the great thing is you can test it out, maybe try folding things slightly differently, maybe you'll come up with an even better plane. That's it. So open it up again, and we're going to do the same sort of thing at the bottom. So taking the edge, and we're going to sort of divide it in half there. So it's very hard to put this into words. So taking this side and folding it in a straight line. Bit tough at this point, can you see? So I've taken the bottom, and it's a bit hard to do up in the air. You see? So I hope you're doing lots of exercises as well. That's really good for your body. And this is a good thing to do for your mind. It's also a bit like an exercise actually. So right, our next step, I hope that's made sense, that you sort of folded it from the bottom and the top, and it now looks like a sort of diamond type shape. So what you should be able to do is, now you've made those lines, you should be able to sort of squeeze the sides. Again, it's hard to explain, but you've got this diamond shape where it's this point. Squeeze a little bit, and you've got a bit sticking up, and point it up to the top. Like so. I don't know whether any of you have made this before. It's a great one though. Can you see? It's not looking that pointy actually. I could have done that better. There we go. We're all learning. That includes me. That's it. I think origami is about an attitude to trying things out, to being a bit persistent. You need to be a bit careful. Take your time and you'll get there. So the same thing on the other side. You've got this shape. You sort of squeeze the sides and then push it up. So it should look like that. I hope yours does. Our next step is we're going to fold the back of this down. You see, so it's sticking up here, and we're going to fold it down in a straight line. It should quite easily do that, actually, like so. Very much getting there. There we go. So it looks like that. That's what it looks like on the back. Right, we're gonna make a tail for this as well. So we're gonna want to effectively cut off, but we're just gonna tear actually the bottom of this. You could use scissors if you want, but I'm showing just tearing because it is possible if you're very careful. So there's this strip here. What you do is fold it up to that point, to that horizontal line, like so. This strip. And if it's a strong enough line, but you might use scissors, if it's a very strong line, you should be able to tear that off. So I've made a nice strong line there. And I'm going to slightly tear that tiniest little bit there. And then, hopefully, if I've done this well, you can tear this off. And I hope while you're doing this, you forget about everything else. It's a very powerful tool for well-being and a bit of fun. So this will be our tail. To make our tail, simply fold it in half lengthwise. The circular plane, maybe you'll be glad to know, is much simpler to make. It's very quick to make. Very different from this, but I thought this was rather lovely. This will be from someone else's childhood, because we learn origami as children often, don't we, and then we pass it on. So I hope this will be, maybe this will be something you'll pass on later on, who knows. See how well it flies first, I guess. So we've folded this in half. At one end, I want you to take the corner and fold it so it's kind of lined up there. I don't know if you can see that. So if you, having to do it to face the camera. So this little corner, if you fold it so it's in line there. So it's again making a triangle shape. You see? So it was on the edge, and then I'm folding it to make a triangle. Like so. So you do that on both sides. That's it. Your tail will be ready to go a little bit later on. We'll come back to the tail. You have made it. That's it. So it looks like this now. Already looks like a plane, doesn't it? That's it. I'm going to just put that to one side. So we're back to the main plane. And what we need to do next is simply fold it in half. You should be able to. So this is this on top. Fold it in half. Like so. And then we're going to fold it from there. Kind of a slight angle, but not much of an angle. Something like that. You see, so it's upraised, and I'm going to fold it down. There we go. And then if you turn it over, it's easy on the other side because all you're trying to do is match. Can you see? I'm just going to try to match that line so it matches up in height. You could decorate these planes as well. I actually think that this swallow looks quite like there's lots of red kites around at the moment. It's a bit like a bird. So you should be able to open up the wings. Final step, if you wanted, you could add little ridges here. So the edge of the wing you could slightly fold up here. I'm hoping nurses and doctors will be doing this as well. That's a nice fun thing to do. We need some fun at this time. That's maybe something to share with your families. But this is for all ages. You never grow out of origami. It's an amazing community of people who do origami. That's it. So hopefully it looks something like that. We're going to now just simply add in the tail. So to do that, turn it upside down. And you should be able to get your tail, turn it upside down too, so it's got this nice point. And you should be able to just slot it in there. You might need to relax it a bit and push it in. And it should slot in and stay rather well. And that is it. That is your swallow. What a nifty plane. and you'll find out a little bit later on how it flies. I don't know whether I'll demo or not. It's one of those things which is very unpredictable, isn't it, how these things fly? But I think this is a good one. So that's the first one, the swallow. Next, I want to show you this circular plane, which is something I'd heard about and I always wanted to do. And it's quite an interesting one. It's actually very easy to fold as well. And then you'll need to experiment a bit to get it going. But when it gets going, it is quite amazing. I did find that, as I said, one that I made just shot across the room really well. And I still can't find it. It's that good. So to make one of these wonderful circular gliders, again, get yourself a piece of paper, and I'm going to direct it down again. So in terms of dimensions, I found it good actually to effectively get your A4 or letter paper and fold it in half. There we go. And actually I'll include a link below, and it's actually for an activity from NASA. So this is real engineering. We're going to tear it in half, or you could use scissors or a ruler, up to you. Hopefully, because I've given it a good strong line, it should just tear along. Very satisfying. And I figure I'm showing you from just normal paper you'd have around, because everybody has some kind of paper around. Now, if this was letter, I think it'd be just the right size. I think for us with A4, I think if we just get rid of a strip, it's only approximate, but maybe that sort of strip, I think, to get rid of. I found the dimensions better if you do that. So I guess that would be maybe about 2 centimetres, like so. I'm going to remove that strip. So it should look something like that. Now what we want to do is fold a diagonal from this corner to this corner. So with a square it'd form a nice little elegant triangle. With this it won't, but that's fine. We want it to have this little tip. You'll see you get this nice little almost 2 ears there. I think that will work well. So we're going to fold from there to there. So again, take your time. I find it easier to press down. That's why I'm showing you this way. If I do it up in mid-air, I won't be able to do it. So you see, I'm just taking my time to position it well. Like so. So through those points. Takes a little bit of concentration. But there's not many steps at all to this one. And I'm doing it all without glue or tape. You could use tape, but yeah, it's nice to try to have done it without. So it should look like this. Our next step is we're going to sort of fold here as a little strip. I would say, let me see how wide I do that. I guess it's maybe 1.5 centimetres or something. Yeah, around that sort of length. It can vary. So again, you can experiment. Can you see? So I simply at the bottom brought that up as a nice little straight strip, like so. Then turn it around and do the same thing again, so it will match the height. So I'm matching it just there. So it's like a sort of a double strip. This will keep it nice and strong. We're almost there. We really are. This is a really simple. You wouldn't think of this as a plane. So all the ingredients are there. All we need to do is make it circular and tuck it into itself. So we're going to have the strip on the inside of our circle, and this will be our outside. So I would recommend giving it a bit of a kind of a curl. You see, I'm beginning to give it a little bit of a curl there. And then you should be able to circle it round, and you'll find somewhere in there is a little pocket where you can take one and link it into the other. So, you know, you could use tape, it will be more secure, but I rather like that it's possible to do it without. So hopefully, we'll see whether that stays. I'm trying to link that into the other. I think that should stay for now. The other step is just, can you see it's not that perfect a circle at the moment, it's a bit wonky looking, is to keep working around your circle, making it nice and round. For those of you learning about forces, it might link in with that. Certainly a fun thing to do. That's it. Right, so hopefully you have now got 2 amazing planes, and it will be your mission to find out which flies best. I should probably show you a little bit how to fly these things, because it's not that obvious. It's maybe a bit more obvious with this. It's not that obvious with this how to fly it, is it? So this will be a real experiment. I might attempt to show you how to throw them. It could go completely, probably won't fly very well, but you'll just have to be persistent. I'll attempt to bring the screen around the other side and we'll see whether this works. You'll have to be patient. Right, here goes. Turn us around. We'll see. So, there we go. So for this one, it's quite obvious, isn't it, what to do? Let's see whether it will fly. I usually try to aim up a bit. Whee! I don't see, you saw it pass. It tends to circle. I'll do it one more time. So just holding at the base here. And then, whee! It flew quite well. So experiment with that. You'll find it can go round in circles too. It's a bit like a boomerang. So it'll fly in interesting ways. This one, how on earth do you fly a circle? Well, if you hold it here between these V, so hold it gently there. It might work and might not. I'm going to attempt to push it forward, and we'll see whether this works. It seemed to just plummet, didn't it? If it gets in the right angle, oh, it did fly off. I don't know if you saw that. I'll try it one more time. Here it goes. I'll do it more. It varies, but that's the way to launch it. An experiment. I'll do it one more time. Here goes. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that. Both the planes have disappeared. If you have any other folds that you want to share with paper aeroplanes as well, that would be fantastic. I've set up a Facebook group called Join the Fold, Origami to Beat Boredom and Stress, obviously. And also on Twitter at Dr. Lizzie Burns, and that's a place I'm sharing images as well. So I hope this has given you something nice in the week that's a little bit different, and thank you for watching and giving it a go. Thank you. Bye bye.